What's going on, guys? I'm your host, Abe, and today we are starting a brand new series. I'm excited about this one. It's Road to Crisis on Infinite Earths. We are going to be doing a bunch of pre-crisis videos and some post-crisis videos, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit later into this episode. So this is the introductory episode, so I just want to tell you more about what this is and why I'm doing it. First of all, let's just start off by saying that I am a huge fan of the Arrowverse. I've been watching Arrow since season 1, and I've watched all of the shows, every single season, the good and the bad and the absolutely ugly. Everything in between. I've watched all of it, and I've stuck through, and I'm still here, and I'm still going to watch all of the shows this season, and I'm excited. But the main thing here is we've known since last year's crossover that we were getting Crisis on Infinite Earths this year. And if you guys don't know what Crisis on Infinite Earths is, it is one of the biggest storylines of DC Comics pretty much ever. This is a comic that literally changed a ton of things in the DC Comics canon. Like, they completely retconned a bunch of origin stories and changed a bunch of things, and pre and post Crisis are two different eras of the comic book company, and it is actually a huge deal that they are doing it here in the Arrowverse, especially to help close out Arrow on its final season. So let's talk a little bit about what this entire series is going to be. I wanted to do a bunch of videos of pre-crisis, including a bunch of really cool video ideas that I will tell you a little bit later on into the episode. But I wanted to create this awesome little series that leads up to Crisis, and then I'm going to be doing some videos that kind of after Crisis to kind of get the before and after thing going, because I believe that this event will have a somewhat similar effect as it did in the comics. Of course, if you watch any of the Arrowverse shows, you probably have a ton of great theories yourself, and this will be a sounding board for you guys to drop a ton of crazy, absolute batshit crazy theories. Go ham in the comment section. I want to hear them because I have a bunch of my own, and we're going to get into them. But this series is going to start now, just before the Arrowverse seasons return, and go through all the way up to Crisis, and I'm excited. So this is the very first episode. Let's just talk about the first thing. Arrowverse returns next week, pretty much this weekend, on Sunday, with Batwoman and Supergirl. I almost said Batgirl. Shame on me. Alright, Batwoman and Supergirl are coming on this Sunday. I am super excited just because I'm ready for all of the shows this season. I think the two shows that I'm probably the most hyped for this season are Flash and Arrow. I mean, obviously Arrow is on its last season, which is going to be a huge emotional thing for me because I'm a diehard fan of that series. And I'm actually going to do a special separate video just talking about the final season of Arrow and kind of just a retrospective journey that I've had, and why that series just in general means so much to me as a fan. Again, that aside, I think Flash, other than Arrow, Flash really looks cool this season. They have a new showrunner who is doing some really great things, and he's making a pre-crisis arc and then a post-crisis arc with two different big bads, and he wants to kind of do that moving forward as if he stays on as the main showrunner for the show, which is great. And he seems to be addressing a lot of the issues that have kind of plagued the last couple of seasons, and I think he's going to be doing something really cool with The Flash this season. I am definitely a big fan of The Flash. I've watched it pretty much since it first aired, of course, because I watched Arrow, and of course Flash spinned out of Arrow. So yeah, again, I'm really excited for Flash. Even Supergirl looks great. I'm very curious to see where Legends goes. I actually liked the last season. Season 3 was Yeah, it was something. It had a better ending than it had a beginning, that's for sure. But season 4 I actually really enjoyed. I think the show just kind of found itself. It found its rhythm. It embraced being the weird, funky, hilarious show of the Arrowverse, the kind of comic relief of shows. And I actually kind of just enjoyed watching it last season. So I mean, I'm gonna definitely interested to see what happens when that comes back. Of course, that comes back after Crisis. That's gonna be early next year, I think in February, January, whenever Crisis, the last two parts of Crisis are, because the last part of Crisis is the season premiere of Legends. But anyway, that aside, man, there's so many crazy great things that are coming. So let's talk about, of course, Crisis. All these shows are going to be leading up to Crisis. I think there's going to be a good 8 or 9 episodes this time, which will be different, of course, from how they usually tackle it. And that being said, it'll be interesting to see, because that means that most likely they won't have any breaks. Because usually it's like the episode 7 or episode 8 is a crossover. But I think it's going to be like episode like 9, 10. Because Arrow only has 10 episodes in total for the season. And it has to have 9 episodes before Crisis. So that's going to be interesting. Now, Crisis. Let's just get into the amazing casting announcements that they've made. So we've got... Oh, man, where do we start here? Okay, so you've got Kevin Conroy playing a live-action version of Bruce Wayne. The man, the myth, the legend, Batman the Animated Series, the voice of Batman, is actually in this crossover as pretty much Batman. We don't know if he's actually going to be in the suit, or we're going to see his suit, or anything else about the character. We just know he's in it. We also know Burt Ward, the guy who played Robin in the original Batman television series, is going to be playing a character in the crossover. Again, crazy. And then it just keeps getting better. The show that probably started the superhero TV craze that gave way to Arrow creating the Arrowverse, Smallville. My main man, Tom Welling, and the woman who played Lois Lane, I can't remember her name at the moment, are both in the crossover as their versions of the characters from Smallville. Boom! Mind blown. Just... what? This is the thing we've been asking for since we basically knew the multiverse existed. And they're actually giving it to us. They've actually done it. It's crazy. It's a really big deal, and of course everybody's going crazy about it. Also, let's talk about Brandon Routh. Of course, you know him as the Atom from Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. He is suiting up as Kingdom Come Superman, and the suit looks amazing. This is just awesome. I can't wait to see this. It'll be crazy to see 3 Supermen in one friggin' scene. That'll be just... oh, that's gonna hurt a lot of people's brains. And it's gonna be a huge, huge geek out moment that everybody's excited to see when Crisis finally comes out. Of course, it doesn't end there. The woman who plays the Huntress in the old Birds of Prey TV show is actually coming on to play a character in the crossover as well. I think she's actually playing Huntress from that show in the Arrowverse, which is a 3rd older DC television series that is now connected to the Arrowverse. Again, I mean, this is already just giving you an idea that things are going to be crazy. They also just announced today, as of filming this, that the woman who plays Lila Michaels in the show is actually going to be Harbinger in the Crisis crossover. It doesn't stop there, because they've also casted a new version of Adam from somewhere in the multiverse, and that looks like it's gonna be really cool. It's a version from the comics. I can't remember offhand every detail, just because I was just like, oh, that's great, and just kind of moved on. I don't actually know the Adam character that well, other than from obviously the Arrowverse shows. So yeah, just insane casting announcements, tons and tons of just insanity, and there's probably a ton of things that we don't know about the Crisis crossover. We even know, even from last year's crossover, the 90s TV version of Barry Allen, the Flash, portrayed by, and I forget his name, I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names, but he has played Jay Garrick as well as Barry's dad in the Flash TV show. He was the original Flash from the original 90s TV Flash show, and he's actually replaying his version of Barry Allen again in this crossover, which, again, just boom. So there's a lot of great characters that are going to show up, and I think it's important because I really think that Crisis is going to set a huge precedent for the Arrowverse, and there is going to be, fans are probably going to say pre-Crisis, post-Crisis as an actual, differentiation in the shows. And even the showrunner of The Flash said post-Crisis is going to be a different version of the Flash show, and the Flash himself is going to be a slightly different character. That is awesome. I'm so excited as a fan to hear those words. That means this is going to be awesome. Let me tell you about some of my post-Crisis, pre-Crisis video ideas, and what I'm going to be doing post-Crisis and during Crisis. So some of my pre-Crisis ideas, I want to go over some of my bigger, kind of weirder, crazier theories, and kind of some retrospectives of the shows, and a retrospective of pre-Crisis Arrowverse as a whole. And of course, I'm going to do a couple of more probably newsy, shorter kind of ones to talk about anything else we find out about Crisis before it happens. And then during Crisis, and I'll add a little something extra after this, but during all 5 parts of Crisis, I'm going to be doing a episode reaction to each of the 5 parts of Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm excited as hell to do that. It'll be the first time I've ever tried to tackle it, so it'll be new to me, but I'm going to do it because I know it's something that I'm going to react strongly to, from geeking out, from probably tearing up a bit, to just losing my damn mind. I know it's going to happen, and I'm super excited to do that. And then we're going to obviously do some post-Crisis videos to talk about what everything has changed from the Crisis event. And, of course, there's going to be some new post-Crisis shows. We know that they didn't really say a name. I think they were pitching it as Canaries, the Canaries spin-off. With, of course, set in the future of Star City, which is the storyline we've started to get in Season 7 of Arrow. They're kind of spinning that off into its own show with Katie Cassidy, Juliana Harkvey, and I forgot her name, but the woman who plays Mia Smoke, a.k.a. Black Star, or a.k.a. possibly the new Green Arrow, which I don't think they should do that. They should just make her own character. That's another discussion entirely. But, again, post-Crisis is going to be its own little thing. So I wanted to do pre-Crisis, reaction to Crisis, post-Crisis. And that's how this entire video series is going to be laid out. I also, in the just same vein as of reacting to Crisis, since Arrow is ending this year, I wanted to do a reaction series to Season 8, the final season of Arrow. Every single episode, obviously 1 through 9, and then Crisis. So I'm going to try to do that too. Those videos might take me a little bit of time to get up, so they won't be out like right after the episode airs or anything like that. But a couple of days, it'll have like a couple of days leniency. But I am going to be doing those series. So I'm super excited to do this series. Stay tuned, because next week we're going to be doing episode 2 of Road to Crisis, aka Pre-Crisis. And I'm going to be sharing one of my crazier, more wild theories. And we're going to dive in. If you guys have some theories, drop them in the comment section. I would love to hear them in this video. In any of the videos on the series, just light the comment section up. I would love to see what you guys have to say, and I will definitely be there to comment and talk to you guys about anything Crisis on Infinite Earths. So, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to subscribe, you can, and if you do, you'll be able to see the other new videos every week. I also do a bunch of other great stuff on the channel, including TV, movie reviews, as well as music reviews. I stick to the rock, hard rock, and heavy metal genres. And that's, if you're into that, it's called Linkin Rock Reviews. And I also do crazy, fun, nerdy stuff like this. I play tabletop games with my friends, including mainly Magic the Gathering. So if you're interested in any of those things, like I said, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Check out my channel. Just enjoy some videos. And I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys on the next one.